Hi, and welcome to the S.J. Child Show. The S.J. Child Show brings value to families through education, resources, and lots of laughs. You can find us on our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and all of your favorite podcast platforms. You can also find our special children's books at sjchilds.org. This month is April Autism Action Month. All of our guests in April will be autism warriors, and we are celebrating them and bringing this to the forefront. Enjoy the show. Hi, and welcome to the S.J. Child Show. I'm your host, S.J. Childs. And today we have a special guest, an author, and her name is Rayna Best. Hello, Rayna. I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you so much for having me, Sarah. I really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. And I can't wait to get into today's episode, talk about all of the things that we really align in our visions in helping families, helping children, bringing awareness to people. Tell us about yourself and how you got started being an author.
Thank you. Thank you first. Thank you for having me. I started writing a lot when I was a child, when I first moved in with my father. It was really just a journal, an entry into the writing world for me to express myself and just talk about the things that I was feeling as a child, because I did experience a lot of neglect and disappointment as an adolescent. But through writing, I really learned how to channel my feelings and write it out, and it really was therapeutic for me. It wasn't until 2 years ago, that I decided to actually use that gift and become an author. And what inspired that was my oldest daughter, Camille, and her struggles with inclusion and not fitting in and just being different from other children that she would interact with at her daycare, at school. And so that was just a thought that came to life. And the book was released last year. It's called Animated Like Me. And yeah, I'm just here to share it with the world.
That's amazing. And tell us what animated like me, right? I don't know why I couldn't say the first one. Tell us what it's about, because I love its content.
Yeah, so the main character, his name is Cameron. He really struggles with fitting in. He goes through all the trials and struggles that a normal kid with ADHD goes through, as far as like following instructions, not really understanding the rules of the games and how to play, and not really understanding a lot of different social cues. So he experiences aloneness, and he is just so saddened by the fact that he just doesn't know how to make friends, because he's not like the other characters in the story. And so then he meets Camille. She is the secondary character, and she just really is like him in every single aspect. She is outgoing, energetic, and they really connect and they really understand each other to the point where they begin to hang out and find different ways to express themselves and use different coping mechanisms. And so the story just ends with, I'm trying to remember the last line, but basically the story ends with finding friends who accept you for who you are. So that's the whole theme of the story, is even though we don't always fit in, and even adults can apply this to their lives. Even though we don't always fit in, find your tribe, find people who accept you for who you are. And, you know, in the back of the book, it has different resources of websites, different parental tips that we all can use for our children.
I love that. I love that. Number one, ADHD probably isn't, shown in as many children's books. So that is such a special message. Number two, like, this is an important thing for teachers, classrooms, other students, so that they can understand if they have a peer with this type of energy, how to support them, how to understand them better. Because when children face people and situations they don't understand, right away they do it out of fear, right? And through that fear, all we have to do is buckle down and give them a little bit of knowledge. And that knowledge empowers them and helps them to not only support their peers better, but move forward in their life being more successful people and creating better relationships, what it's all about, really.
It really is. And, that's why I'm just so thrilled. And when it comes to like the books that I'm coming out with, because it's not really necessarily about the monetary gain, but more so about empowering our youth and just letting them know that there are other people who are just like you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Such a special, just powerful message for children. And, it needs to be down from parents. The parents need to start. They need to start by teaching these children how to communicate with other parents, with other peers, not only about things they don't understand, but maybe about things that they learned during the day. And those parents can further those discussions with children. Such an important message. Let's talk about your other book that's coming out too, because once again, such valuable information. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so the book is coming out April 13th. It's called My Skin Has Shapes. And this book is tackling the topic of skin discoloration and self-love. So that book is inspired by my second daughter. She does have skin pigmentation issues. And the message is just all about self-love. And I think that it is so important for us to start teaching our children to love themselves at an early age, because we always teach our children that we love them.
Yeah.
To teach them to love themselves, because I think that is the most important love that they can ever experience, to learn to love themselves. And so that will be coming out, like I said, April 13th, and it's done. I'm just waiting for the day.
Excellent. Now, I don't want to forget what I had a good thought I'm going to come back to, but where can we find that book and your other one?
Yeah, so it will be on Amazon, barnesandnobles.com, and walmart.com, wherever you guys prefer to buy your books from. So.
And they have paperback, ebooks. What's available?
The first book, Animated Like Me, is on paperback. This next book will be hardcover. And
nice.
I'm so excited.
I love that. Oh, I'm so excited too. I can't wait to get a copy of both of them. So it'll definitely, we'll have it back here on our desk and represent everybody we have, and just give them thanks. And we just really honor our guests. And so one thing I wanted to come back to was that teaching your kids to love themselves first. And it really reminded me of when my daughter, who is 9, has been growing up. And one thing that I had used to say to her was, who do you love more than anyone in the world? And, she would think about it and Mom, I love you, Mom. And I would say, no, you love yourself. You are first. You're number one. You say me first, no matter what, your whole life. That's what comes first. And I just remember, I don't think I've said that or said it to her in so many years. And so I'm going to have to do that again and see if she's still on track with that.
So crazy how like certain things trigger old memories. That happens to me all the time. But yeah, I think I'm gonna steal that.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, I think that you should always be number one. And kind of like you said, I think that there were times when maybe I feel like I didn't do that. I didn't put myself first, and kind of learned the hard way through that. So I love that now we're trying to give our children these messages to not have to go through those things. And of course they need to have experiences to gain their own, worldly knowledge. But I love that we can provide them boundaries And then inside those boundaries, they can create their own rules, kind of their own style, if you will, about themselves.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So I'm just thankful for the platform.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think I love it too. And the same with me. I love writing and did it early as a child, and just have always loved poetry. And it's just such a great way to express yourself. And in journaling, I love that you said that. Journaling is a really important skill.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And so lately I've been writing 5 things every day, 5 topics. I write 5 things down for what I want to manifest. I write 5 things down for my affirmations, 5 things down for good news of the day, 5 things down for awesome you facts. And
Ah,
then so it's manifestations, affirmations, and what was the first one? I can't think of it, but it's been so therapeutic, and it's been
ah,
at peace, and
yeah.
I've noticed a change in my behavior and how I respond to my children,
Mm.
more understanding and more careful with the things I say and how I respond. So it's just an awesome tool that I've been using. It's been helpful.
Oh, that is so inspiring. I really love that. 5 things. I mean, I thought I was doing good doing one inspirational quote a day, but now I'm going to have to, I'm going to have to put a little more work into this. That's great. I have an autism advocates group, and each morning I upload today's mission and put an inspiring quote. And it's incredible the feedback I get because, to be honest, I didn't do it for a purpose. I just thought it would be kind of neat, and now I'm getting these families reaching out and saying, you're helping us every day with our mindset and our, putting our best foot forward and realizing we need to focus more on different things than we are. And so powerful for a message to be able to give.
Yeah, I agree. I really like that because it's true, you really don't know who you're helping when you say certain things. You think you're just doing the right thing at the moment, but typically it's something that's been placed in your heart to share, and it inspires people who you don't even think you'd be able to reach. So
Yeah, I think it's been incredible. And how's Camille doing? Is she doing great? Does she love the book? And I guess both are they both girls?
yes,
Okay.
they're both doing really, really well. Camille, she's 8, so she's doing really well. She's already speaking things into existence. She wants TV shows and toys for
Love
the book.
that.
And so I'm
Yeah.
like, we can totally try that. You can do that. And Kamaya, she is 4, so she's kind of still not really understanding
Yeah,
but I know she'll appreciate it in the future.
absolutely.
Uh, Decides or be able to read it.
Yeah. And you know what you and I have in common is that now we have set forth a legacy for our children. These books will be on a shelf, be in digital form, whatever they are, forever.
Ever. And
It's so incredible.
that is the goal.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's important. It's important. At least
I
something
agree.
that your children can really love and enjoy.
Definitely. What kind of tips and things do you give parents, or can you give us about how to manage your child with ADHD, and then also with the problems with the pigmentation of what kind of advice can you give parents about those types of things?
I know what works for, or what have worked in the past for Camille is when she tends to get a little frustrated, we offer snacks, but we don't really want to do that too much because we don't want them to think that their behavior is going to get them food
Mm,
necessarily all the time. So that's here and there. But I've noticed that when we take walks with her
mm,
and we're to kind of collect her thoughts, and then we approach the situation and just come in with an open and honest communication and So I've learned that me being honest with my feelings to her, that it shows her that it's okay for her to be open and honest with me. And so when I'm vulnerable with her, apologize for things that I know offended her and I shouldn't have said or did. I noticed that she sees that, okay, mom is human, she makes mistakes, and so am I. And she's acknowledging her mistakes. So I'm learning that it's okay for me to go to her when I make mistakes.
I love that.
You have that approach with your child, it is just so rewarding, because a lot of parents, a lot of us now, we have grown up in a household where we were shut down, where we were, chastised for certain thoughts and behaviors, where all we really needed was a talk. Mm-hmm. And so I just think that having that open communication is very important. And with my second book, about the skin discoloration, like I said, just really instilling, and like you said too, instilling that self-love for your child early.
Yeah. And really showing them, modeling your behavior in the world, I'm sure is something that you do as well, because that's so important too, because they're always watching. And, even though they may be feisty or a little sassy here and then, they want to be like you if you provide a good representation of a person in the world.
Yes. And that's so true, because everyone says like your child is so polite and she's this and she's that. And it's like, well, it's because I'm all those things. And so a lot of parents, they tell their child, be respectful, have good manners, do this, do that. But they're showing their child something different when they interact with people, how they interact with the bagger at the grocery store, or the guy, the janitor. It's really what you do that matters and what they're going to watch. So I think that's important.
I agree. I 100% agree, because building their confidence, letting them understand that being kind out in the world will bring them kindness back. I mean, those are such important skills for children. And, not only that, but and you probably have come up against this with Camille in school and such, but conflict resolution, right? What a tough subject for kids. How do you help her when she comes up against those kinds of issues?
Now she's homeschooled, so
true.
Different. But when she was in school, she did have some issues with voicing her opinions, and her, like I said, her social cues weren't always spot on when it came to like children complimenting her in a way that she took as a negative. So it's really all about just explaining certain things, like sarcasm is, because some kids, they don't really take to sarcasm very well. If they have like a disability, they don't really understand that it's offensive to them. So you kind of have to teach them about that. And I had to kind of explain to her, like, really think about what the person is saying before you respond, and really think about what you want to say before you respond. And it's been helpful.
That's great. Well. How's homeschool been for you guys?
It's been good. At first it was a little rocky, and she definitely misses her friends and being in a classroom. But I feel like she's more focused and she's absorbing more information, I guess, because it's right there in her face, and she has nothing to distract her because she's so used to her room already. There's nothing to really distract her and knock her off track. So it's been good.
That's great. Yeah, our kids are also, are also home. And with our third grader, the 9-year-old, we were able to get her help. We realized that she had dyslexia when we brought her home. And I had asked the teachers to look at it previously, but they were, oh no, she's so smart. She's so emotionally intelligent. She'll be fine. It'll catch right up. No, that did not happen. And when she got home and I was seeing it for myself in her writing, and yeah, I reached out to our online school that we have with our son with autism, and they were wonderful. They said, yeah, we'll get her tutoring, let's get on it. And now she's getting the help and the, catching up to where she needs to be. So
that's so good. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because when I went to Camille's teacher and I was, mentioning to them these concerns that I had, they were correlating with her academics, with her not having ADHD. And so they were saying the same thing that your daughter's teacher was saying, that she's smart, she's social, she's this, she's that. There's no way she can have ADHD. And when I took her to the doctor said the same thing. And he also said, well, typically only boys have ADHD. And so it's like I was literally telling them all these things that I was seeing and experiencing, and they just kind of like waved it off because she was such a sweet kid. And it's like, just because someone has a disability, that does not mean that they cannot be excelling in school, polite, sweet, kind, all these amazing things. And so it's a little offensive to say that because someone is those things, smart, kind, whatever, that they don't have ADHD, or there's no way.
I think it's absolutely crazy. And I completely agree with you, what you said. It is offensive. And I've been upset more than once at the lack of, I guess, importance they place on the things that the parents are bringing them. And they're saying, look at this. This is what I'm seeing. Well, you know what? As a parent, don't give up. You go to any doctor you want. You go to 12 doctors if you have to. Like, do not give up. You know your child best.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy. I agree completely. Yeah. It's really hard. I think especially with girls. And I'm learning more. I have a son with autism, and I've been looking at it from a boy's perspective for a decade. And now I'm learning it is 100% different what it presents in girls. And I'm seeing all of these new things that I'm learning in my daughter and realizing what the truth really is. And not that there wasn't a truth, but you know what I mean? I'm just seeing it through a new perspective. And I wish that there was this, like, why is it okay for boys to be diagnosed, but not for girls?
Yeah. What's the stigma? What is that about?
It doesn't make any sense, does it? No, I'm glad we touched on that, because I think it's really important for us to start those discussions.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad that you're here today. And before we finish up, I definitely want to talk about one more time where we can get all of your books, and you have social media we can follow.
Yes. So you can get Animated Like Me from Amazon.com, BarnesandNobles.com, Walmart.com, and My Skin Has Shapes comes out April 13th, and you can get it on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and Walmart as well. And then you can also check out my website. I have a free storytime video on there of Animated Like Me for your children to check out. The website is RB Scribes. That's RBSCRIBES.com. And you can go over there, and all my social media handles are all the same, RB Scribes. And you can find me, and we can message and talk and catch up.
I love it. I love it. And I'll make sure to have all of that down in the description below, so you can go and find the books, hop onto Amazon, Walmart, Barnes and Noble, wherever you buy your books. Make sure you get these books. Make sure, even if you don't have kids, buy these, donate them to the school in your neighborhood. This information is important, it's valuable, and it's not only going to help the child that's reading it now, it's going to help all the children in the future, anyone who gets this information. So,
yes, thank you. Yes, I agree.
Thank you so much for being here. And so we were just I had sent you a message and just said to maybe think of a funny story to tell. And so yeah, we've got to finish off by doing that. And so I wanted to hand over the floor to you, my dear.
When you asked me that, I was actually like, oh my God, what am I going to say?
Yeah.
But actually, we just came across one yesterday. My daughter, let me not speak too loud, but my daughter was talking to her teacher about St. Patrick's Day and leprechauns and leprechaun traps. I don't know why, but my daughter, she comes and she says, Mom, I really, really, really want to set up a leprechaun trap. And I'm like, I don't want to do all that work. I'm like, it's a little late, maybe maybe he'll come by. I don't really know, but maybe we'll do it next year. And so she was like, oh man, she was super disappointed, but I had already bought these like gold chocolate coins. So I took it upon myself to use my less dominant hand, and I pinned a letter from Lenny the leprechaun. And I told her, thanks for not trying to trap me. And I left her 2 gold coins, and she woke up and she was on her classroom Zoom, and she was telling her teacher, like, oh my God, the leprechaun was so happy that I didn't try to trap him.
Oh.
And 2 coins, and she was just so excited. Her teacher was like, oh wow.
That's good.
Of my day. And I know parents are not big on like celebrating certain holidays, but just to see the look on their faces when you actually like participate and do little things that'll make the day special is so worth it, so priceless.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree with you. It is priceless. And I love that. I love the Christmas time, the Elf on the Shelf time. I mean, just the magic that all of those little tiny things can bring.
Yes, definitely.
It's incredible. It's incredible. That is so great. Well, I'll have to send you to the link to this cute little video. So our son loves to make videos and post them on YouTube. And oftentimes we don't know. It's, just on our personal YouTube channel. And the other day we were on there and we see a video and we were like, oh, this is interesting. We click on this video. And DJ is 11. He was reading at 1, he was writing at 2, and at 3, we realized he had a photographic memory. So this boy is really smart and he's constantly teaching us like all kinds of things. He's memorized like 25 languages, and yeah, he does like calculus and quantum physics and I don't know what else.
Tutor.
Seriously, he is going to be everybody's tutor someday. Nostradamus or something, right? But we find this video. We're just scrolling on, and look, there's a video of DJ, and we pulled up this video, and he's talking about how he is we are in another room from one another, he says, and I'm going to upload and download and rip this video over and over again until it completely destroys my sound or my image. And he goes on to explain like the technical, it's because of the codec that's placed into the codes of the YouTube and the MP4 format I'm going to be using. And it's like this crazy technical 11-year-old video. It's just hilarious. And we were shocked because he does talk to us, and he is very technical, but it was so well thought out, and it was just like watching him be this whole other person that we didn't know. So I'm going to have to send you the link, and maybe I'll even upload it to the back of this video so everybody can check it out.
Please do.
His kids are great, aren't they? They just do the darndest things.
Surprises every day.
Yeah, every day. That is for sure. Well, I am so glad that we got to talk today. And it was such a pleasure to have you on. And we'll definitely stay in touch. Yeah. Thank you. And support one another's book, everything with our books. And and we'll definitely have you back on in the future, talk about, some other books. Maybe I'm sure you have some ideas going on in your mind there. Wonderful. Thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Rayna.
Bye.
Kind of guy that keeps you warm at night when you are cold. I'll grab some blankets from my bed, wrap them around your chest, and I'll pull you close. We'll flip some channels to find out there's nothing on right now to ease your mind. Sit back, relax, there is no rush, no need to speed things up. All we have is time to think about the future, forget about the past. Time to figure out a way to make this moment last. To make this moment last. To make this moment last. The kind of love that we've been dreaming of when we sleep at night. We'll get a little house to live in, have a couple kids, and we'll sleep tight. 'Cause baby, all we really need are just a couple things to stay alive, and everything else in between. Just trust my heart, you'll see. We're slowly coming. Time to think about the future, forget about the past. Time to figure out a way to make this moment last. To make this moment last. To make this moment last. Sunrises, sunsets, I won't let you forget that I need you. Spring comes as spring goes, forever you will know that I love you. Sunrises, sunsets, I won't let you forget that I need you. Spring comes as spring goes, forever you will know that I love you.